There is nothing like a good spin-off title. I've talked facetiously about them on the channel in the past to humorous effect. However, this time I'm being obviously serious when I say the following. Jack Bros is a strange spin-off of Megami Tensei and also the only one worth caring about. I don't even think there are any other ones, actually. Let's just ignore that subject altogether. What makes Jack Bros so strange? Well, it's on the Virtual Boy, so there's that. That system has a stranglehold on me with its bichromatic and eye-bleeding display, but this time I think it really works to the game's advantage. Oh, actually, who am I kidding? No, it doesn't. Sure, the red and black presentation does go with the spookier general feel of Jack Bros, but I don't have to tell you that it doesn't really matter at all when you have to put in eye drops every few minutes. In fact, alongside Virtual Boy Wario Land, Jack Bros is one of the few Virtual Boy games that people shit their pants over. So today I wanted to take a look at it and see if it's really worth all that praise or if it's just a mediocre game, because I don't want to be able to see more than 10 feet in front of me before the age of 21. Starting with some praise, I really like the main characters here. The ever-iconic Jack Frost is adorable and absurd as usual, Jack Lantern is a great pun with a great design, and Jack Skeleton is actually called Jack River, which was changed in English for some reason. I don't know why, but it's a funny tidbit. Once you lock in who you want to play as, you can't change that, so it's important to make sure you know what you want. Lantern has powerful fireballs that come out slowly, but Frost snowballs are much faster to make up for their lower firepower. Ripper's knife is the strongest of them all, but of course it's not a projectile. I think it's a pretty decent balance between the three of them, though of course Lantern and Frost end up feeling a little too samey for my tastes. Gotta get my Jack Bros hot takes out of the way. The presentation throughout the game is worth mentioning. There's a lot of artistic skill on display here, but it's severely hampered by the Virtual Boy's color palette. There's so many unique enemy sprites and tile sets for each world, many of those enemies having very expressive animations, but it all feels the same because of the lack of colors. The game doesn't even really use the Virtual Boy's 3D effects all that much, the parallax scrolling being the only aspect of it that really sticks out, and that's something a Super Famicom can do. Honestly, I'm not even sure why this was a Virtual Boy release. It feels like being on the system just made it a lot worse. And of course, the game is extremely short. It's all about collecting keys under a time limit and then going to the next floor. In total, there are 60 floors to the game, 10 for each level. The issue is that finding these keys isn't particularly interesting. It usually just involves defeating an enemy of some kind or literally finding it on the ground. Sometimes you might have to move a block. What this ends up leaving you with is a game that is not only short but insubstantial. One that's full of repetitive gameplay decisions in spite of the fact that it's not very long. So Virtual Boy game. Thankfully, due to that aforementioned length, there's really not much else to say about Jack Bros. It's an oddity of the Virtual Boy, one held back by the system's limitations, but it's hard for me to dislike it. It's a bit plucky, much like Jack Frost himself, and for that I have some admiration for it. How was this the first Megami Tensei game to be localized to the West? Well, by simply being the best one, obviously. This has been Arcade Everlasting, who just remembered the other Megami Tensei spin-off. Soul Hackers, signing off. Thank you for watching.